Hey first grade friends, welcome back, and today we're going to jump into writing our teaching sentences that are going to tell two new facts that you learned from the words or pictures, either from the text Earthworms or from watching the Worms Are Wonderful SciShow Kids YouTube video. So on Monday when we started, we gathered lots of new learning or information from both of our sources, and we started keeping track of some of the facts we learned. I learned that worms come in many sizes. I learned that from the text Earthworms, and I wanted to teach that in my paragraph. You'll notice that I went back into my text and I underlined that worms come in many colors and sizes, and then I'm really using this picture here to show how worms can be teeny tiny, this little itty bitty baby, or super long, like this giant worm from Australia, which is as long as a car. So once I decided what facts I wanted to teach, I was ready to work on my teaching picture. So I then drew my teaching picture showing my little itty bitty baby garden worm. Notice that it's colored realistically, and my really long giant worm, which is as long as a car. Then yesterday we worked on writing our topic sentences. Our topic sentence tells your reader what you're going to teach them about. So I wrote, I will teach you all about worms. Well, now, if we've got our hand out and we're using our hand to plan our paragraph across our fingers, we've written our topic sentence. I will teach you all about worms. Now I can use my middle three fingers to start teaching those facts. Remember, you have to teach at least two because that's what our prompt says. The first fact that I want to teach my reader is that worms come in many sizes. And you'll notice that I actually wrote that. I wrote, one fact is that worms come in many sizes. That is also shown in my teaching picture, a little bitty baby garden worm and a humongous giant worm. But that's only one fact. I need to come back to my fingers. I need to teach at least one more fact. I need two facts. So the next fact that I want to talk about is the giant worm. And I think it's so interesting that the giant worm from Australia is as long as a car. That's just crazy to me. I can't even think about how a snake could be that long, let alone a worm. So I want to teach my reader that. I think they're going to find it really interesting. So you'll notice I've already got one fact written. We're going to write our second fact. And I'm going to draw in my lines first to help me keep track of what words I want to write. So after writing our first fact, I started that sentence with one fact. I'm going to start my next sentence with another fact. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long as a car. I'm going to write that. That's a lot of words, so these lines are going to help me. Another fact, two finger space, is, two finger space, that, two finger space, I ran out of room, so I'm coming to my next line. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long as, I ran out of room, so I'm just going to come underneath my lines, a car. And I just think that's so crazy, so I'm going to say it kind of excitedly with an exclamation point instead of a period. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write this sentence. Your teacher can show you this sentence starter, another fact is, so you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to spell another. It is a sight word, so if you know how to spell it, good for you, all the power to you. Another fact, the word fact is probably already in your first sentence, your first teaching sentence. Another fact is that, that. Ooh, that's that digraph TH that makes my tongue tickle. That voiced TH. Short A, that. Another fact is that the, THE, the giant worm. Well, I can stretch out the sounds I hear or just snag giant worm from my label in my teaching picture. Help me spell it, friends. G-I-A-N-T, giant worm, W-O-R-M. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long. Long. Oh, that's that digraph ng, like in ring, making that ng sound. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long as a what, friends? A car. Isn't that crazy? I'm just picturing a car, and I'm picturing a worm stretched out from the tail lights to the headlights, and it's just, I mean, to me, it's a little bit gross, to be honest, to think about a worm that's that long. Ugh. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long as a car. Ooh, I can spell this. I can spell this word because I hear R, and I know that combination AR says R like star. Car. And I know it's got to be a C because C takes A, O, U, and any consonant. Car. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to reread my whole paragraph so far to make sure it sounds right and makes sense. I will teach you all about worms. One fact is that worms come in many sizes. Another fact is that the giant worm is as long as a car. Not only does my paragraph make sense, but if I go back to my writing prompt, I am doing exactly what it says, where it says to write an informative paragraph to tell 2 new facts. Hey, I got 2 new facts that I learned from the words or the pictures. So your job, friends, is to now start writing your teaching sentences. You need at least 2 new facts that you learned from the words or the pictures. Go ahead and start writing them, and then tomorrow we'll be ready for our closing sentence.